Hey guys, Justin here with AmericanTrucks.com, and today we're taking a closer look at the Flowmaster FlowFX Extreme system, available for your 2021 and newer 5-liter F-150, excluding all Tremor models. Now, you guys should be checking out the Flowmaster if you'd like an extremely aggressive system from an industry leader that will also pack a ton of ground clearance and a full stainless steel build, all at a very affordable price point. Now, as far as your features are concerned, well, it really just boils down to the sound here, as is the case with most aftermarket exhaust systems, let's be honest. But I will say the turn-down design of the FlowFX Extreme is going to be appealing from a ground clearance standpoint, along with providing a much cleaner appearance because of the lack of tips and pipes and all that good stuff. And we'll talk a little bit more about that in a second, but first let's just jump right into that sound, because again, that is going to be the biggie here. And the FlowFX Extreme really lives up to that extreme name. Now, as you guys heard with our sound clips, the Flowmaster is going to deliver a ton of bark, while in my opinion landing just shy of the other category screamer, Outlaw Extreme, also from the guys over at Flowmaster. So breaking out my Wake the Neighbor scale, I'm gonna go strong 4 out of 5 here on my 1 to 5 or 1 to Wake the Neighbor scale. Now, the Outlaw again does edge this system out ever so slightly in regards to just sheer volume, but it is very, very close. Now, that extreme experience does find its way inside the cab while cruising as well, as you might expect. And this is mainly due to the location of the dump and due to the fact that you are eliminating that factory resonator. But again, if you want to be loud, you don't mind some interior noise, then this is certainly going to be a great choice. Now, moving into construction, and you'll be happy to know that Flowmaster does incorporate a 100% stainless steel build throughout the FlowFX Extreme here, 409 grade to be exact, and that's going to be for things like your small amount of 3-inch mandrel bent tubing, of course all of your factory style hangers welded in place for you, and then of course you have the unique FlowFX straight through muffler, which does feature a single stage internal packing to kind of take the bite or the sound or the edge off of that sound a little bit more compared to a more traditional Flowmaster muffler that's going to utilize metal baffles such as that Outlaw we talked about earlier. Now, one thing to note here, guys, with this system is that it does feature that turn down configuration or exit, which again will dump directly under that cab before the rear axle. Now, this is again great for added ground clearance, as we mentioned earlier, as the system is going to reside predominantly above those frame rails, but it also again just makes for a much cleaner appearance due to the lack of any visible tips or pipes. Now, finally, guys, the Flowmaster FlowFX Extreme is backed by a limited lifetime warranty, just in case you run into any issues. Now, your price point for the FlowFX Extreme is very attractive at the mid to high $400 price point, considering just the amount of sound you're getting out of this thing, along with the corresponding full stainless steel build and lifetime warranty. Switching gears, let's talk about install here briefly, guys. And because this is such a small system in regards to overall material and basic layout, it is certainly going to help make the install a little bit easier at the end of the day. Now, because of that, the site is going to call this one a strong 1 out of 3 wrenches on the difficulty meter in at least an hour to get everything in place here. But now it's a great time to throw it out to the shop. Let's check out our detailed walkthrough and tool breakdown.
Tools required for this install include an impact gun, a ratchet, exhaust hanger removers, 15mm wrench, an extension, a 17mm swivel socket, 10, 13, and 15mm sockets. What's up, guys? Today we're installing an exhaust on our F-150, so let's get started. So to remove our exhaust, we're gonna start up front. From the factory, these have 2 13mm bolts. However, our hardware has been replaced, so I'm gonna be using a 17mm socket and 15mm wrench to get our hardware off. So now we're starting on the flange right in front of our resonator. Like I said, the factory is a 13mm bolt. Since ours was replaced, we've got a 17mm socket and 15mm wrench. Next, we can come back to the rubber isolator right in front of our muffler and take an exhaust hanger remover tool to pop that out. Next, we can come to the isolator at the back of our muffler. We have a 10mm bolt that we can remove to make this hanger come off a little bit easier. So I'll take a 10mm socket to pop that out. Now the last thing holding our exhaust on is this rearmost hanger. We have a 10mm bolt in the bottom and the side. Now you're gonna wanna grab yourself a buddy to support the weight of the exhaust while you remove this, because that is the last thing that's holding this up. So now I've got a buddy at the front side of our exhaust. I'm gonna remove those last 2 bolts for this rearmost hanger, and then we can wiggle this out of place. And now with our exhaust removed, we can pop our 2 isolators off of those rods. So I've got an exhaust hanger remover tool to do that. So the first thing we're gonna do is reinstall our middle hanger. We can slide this tab in through the square hole and then reinstall our bolt through this hole. And then we'll grab our 10mm socket to tighten that down. Now next we can install our inlet pipe. It's important to note for the inlet and extension pipe, you may have to cut this to size depending on your cab and bed configuration. Now we have the Super Crew with the 5.5-foot bed, so we're just going to be using our inlet pipe and we don't need the extension pipe. So now I've got a pole jack here to support the weight of the backside of the pipe while we tighten it down, just to make sure we keep it straight. We're gonna be sliding our flange onto our inlet pipe. There's a flared side and a flat side. The flared side is gonna go towards the flange. So we'll slide that onto our pipe and then raise this up into place. Now with that in place, we can reinstall our hardware. Now, once again, our hardware has been replaced, so we have a 17mm bolt and a 15mm nut, but the factory size is just going to be a 13mm bolt. So now you can take a 13mm socket, or in our case, a 17 and a 15mm wrench to tighten this down. Next, we can install our muffler. So we'll take our clamp and slide that over the edge of our pipe. And then we can slide our rods into our isolators. And now we can slide our clamp into place and take a 15mm socket to tighten that down. So that'll wrap up this review and install of the Flowmaster Flow Effects Extreme Single Exhaust System Turn Down for your 2021 and newer 5.0 liter F-150, excluding the trimmer. Thank you for watching, and for all things F-150, keep it right here at AmericanTrucks.com.